Welcome to another review from Worcester Guitar Centre. We're here again in the heart of Worcestershire. It's a sunny day, I've got my shorts on. My name is Ben Vickers, and this is Mr. Josh Hall. And we're reviewing today the Revelation series. This is kind of a Jazzmasters. Right. What's the actual name of it?
Well, these are the RJT.
The RJT series. We're sat here with a couple of RJT-60 Qs. And I think the Q stands for the quad. Because if you notice here, 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 4 pickups. Mental. Obviously this doesn't have a pickup selector, but it's got these switches which turns each pickup on or off, and you can run them all together. You can run 3, you can run 2, you can run just 1 on its own, and obviously they've all got a different sort of tone. We'll come back to the pickups in a second. What else is interesting about this guitar is we've got this lovely sort of chicken head switch, haven't we, here? Talk to us about that, Mr. Josh.
Well, this is a Baritone, which just like a decade knob or just a knob with several détentes on it, and
détentes.
It switches through.
What a word!
Switches through different high, low pass filters.
Shall we have a listen?
And yeah, so
switch through them all.
If on the first one here, I've got the just the neck pickup on its own. In the first setting is.
That's number 2.
Number 3. And number 4. And finally, number 5. So you can see, first.
That's kind of it all, isn't it? That's everything.
You've got quite a lot of output in there. Quite glassy, but quite toppy as well. Quite sharp. That maybe a bit sounds a bit like the in between on a Strat with a bit of the tone rolled off. A lot darker, but it's got that hollowness to the mid range. That's much of the same. That's really quite
a lot
dark.
more.
That's really quite dark, and then to me that sounds like the in between on a Telecaster.
Yeah. The mid pickup on a Telecaster.
The
neck and the bridge.
It's quite choppy.
Yeah. So we've got kind of like a massive range of sort of tones that you can create. Basically, this is like a Swiss Army knife, but for guitars. Maple neck, standard rosewood fretboard. You've got these lovely kind of these vintage tuners. I don't know if you can see those there, but they've got the split top on as well, which makes them a little bit more vintage and fancy. You sounded like you were going to say something.
Easier to string up, I find, as well. Some people like them, some people hate them. The split post.
You kind of have to cut the string off before you put them in.
You do have to cut the string off a little bit, but as a little rule of thumb, I find that if you just take it up to
the second
one, go up to the second up, and you can cut it there. You've got enough to stick it down, wind it on without having enough. Because obviously, if you have too much windings on the post, the windings are going to slip round each other.
Yeah,
and
therefore going out of tune, which you don't need, especially when you're gigging live.
But these are really stable if you string them right. A lot of the time, it's just operator error.
They work for me. I've got some of these in my 70s Strat. Yeah, and they're the split ones. But yeah, the Jazzmaster style body. Great.
Offset style, yeah.
Offset style.
Halfway between a Jazz and a Jag, really, isn't it?
It's nice, man. I mean, that's very similar to the Jag.
Yeah, and then of course you've got like a traditional Strat style tremolo, just a standard tremolo, because the problem with the offsets is that the tremolo was meant to be really good, but it never really quite worked.
Well, it's kind of, we'll look at these ones, like but that's your kind of Jazzmaster, isn't it?
The bridge often moves, and the strings, the break angle's not very high if you're looking, so straight away I could like pop that out.
Pop that off straight away.
So you imagine if you're hitting it hard, it's not as bad on that, which has got really thick strings, but on a normal guitar,
we'll come back to that.
If you're hitting it hard on a normal one, you can pop the strings out the bridge quite easily.
Unless you got that kind of ashtray feel that some of the Jazzmasters came with.
Wonderful.
Mr. Alan Entwistle, designed, and I don't think he made them. I think they're made in I think they're made in China.
Did
to be fair,
did them all by himself.
He did them all handmade.
Whittling away.
He actually started off. We read a big spiel, didn't we? From Alan Entwistle.
We did,
It was like a massive essay, and he actually started off whittling away in his garage.
Guitar garage.
The guitar garage.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the pickups. There's something in them which is different, isn't there? Really.
Well, they're neodymium magnets, aren't they? It's the same as why they're used in speakers. They're very efficient. So normally
You can't basically just
and
coil.
they're permanent as well. I think they're permanent magnets.
This guitar is going to last you until you're a granddad, and then
Yeah.
you can give it to your grandkid, and it's going to last till he's a granddad, and so on and so forth.
Well, so they're a lot
This
more
guitar's for
efficient.
life, man.
They're a lot more efficient, so I think they're going to give you a. They'll probably give you a purer, cleaner signal.
You're going to get a cleaner tone for a
with
longer
less-
time, aren't you? Really.
With less, with less effort, electrical effort, or gone into it.
We all know guitars get better with age,
Yeah.
as you've just bought a 72,
73.
73,
Yeah.
1996, 73.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chipson.
Should we dirty that up a little bit?
Yeah.
Because we've talked for ages, so let's dirty that up and listen to it. That's cool, man. I like it.
Right. Yeah.
I like it. What setting have you got that on?
Just the bridge on its own, full open.
Should we try? Let's try the. Let's go weird. Let's go kind of like. Let's go for the neck pickup and also the bridge pickup as well.
Okay.
Try those two together. This is like the amount of just sounds you can get out of this guitar. If you're an experimental guitarist or anything like that, and you're trying to sort of, we kind of put all four switches down. And it sounded kind of phasey, didn't it? It was slightly out of phase. It was.
They're all in parallel, so you're not going to get massive output.
No.
Like the Jimmy Page wiring, where you can get the two humbuckers in series.
Is that his Dane Electric?
No, on the Les Paul, he's got that fancy wiring, so he's got push pull pots and stuff. So you can have two humbuckers in series, which is going to effectively double their output.
Which is massive.
Whereas parallel, these are all going to be in parallel, but you're going to get a big. That is going to act as one large pickup. It's quite overdriven, quite fuzzy, but you've got a hollowness, a definition in there. It's quite sharp, isn't it?
I like the kind of sound of this as well. I'm going to put it on, I think it was number 3. That one there. Try that.
And that's very...
It's nice.
Yeah, that's very, very, very woman tone.
Very like 60s, 70s kind of feel.
Yeah.
They look very 60s and 70s as well.
They do.
Now I've just picked up, I've picked up this, the RJT-60 12. Reason it's called 12, because obviously it's a 12-string guitar.
It's got twice as many strings by the looks of it.
Yeah, now it's got 12 as many strings. Now, I don't think, in fact I have seen a 12-string electric guitar. Dane Electro do want to know, I think. Obviously the Jimmy Page kind of classic twin neck, a lot of them have got
EDS
but
1275.
you don't get a tremolo. Have you ever seen a 12-string with a tremolo?
With a Gibson Vibrola.
Sounds like a sex toy, actually.
They did a it's obviously not a Jazzmasters style,
Great.
but they did a like a 335. They did a 12-string. You can get a 12-string, and I've seen one with like a Vibrola on. I'm pretty sure.
So how much is that then?
Well, they're real old school. Like
Real
they
old
made
school.
them in the 60s.
This guitar, you can pick it up for under £400. I think it's even under £300.
Well, this is about 210 quid, something like that.
Now they do a lot more than the Q. They've got one. They've got that's we're going to talk about that one in a second. I like that one a lot. Obviously these are the Q. They've got the quads, but they do them in with the P90s as well, which are the same pickups as these. Again, the Allen Entwistle. I think they're called the AL90s. So not P90s, AL90s. Mr. Entwistle. I think he's done a really good job, man, to be fair. I think he's really done a good job.
Well done, Alan.
Well done, Alan. Thank you very much. There we go. So let's try this RJT-60 12. It's again got the same switch. It's kind of, it's chicken head. I like it. It's got a normal pickup selector with these P90s in it. Sorry, AL90s. Do apologise.
Sorry, Alan.
Sorry, Alan. I love 12-string guitars.
It sounds great, that does.
Yeah, it does sound really nice. So, 12-string electric guitars. This thing's awesome, man. I like it. Again, same maple neck, rosewood fretboard, the old Perloid squares, as we've got here, the very kind of Gibson sort of shape, but with a Jazzmaster. Nice. This next one's interesting. This is the RJT-60B, which doesn't stand for baritone, like it says on a couple of the websites, because it's pretty much a 6-string bass. Well, it is a 6-string bass. You've got bass strings on there. That's like a low, but they're kind of like, I don't know. They're odd, man. They've got the Jazzmaster bridge. Jazzmaster. Right. Again, you've got standard pickup selector. 3 AJ90s. AL90s.
A, B, C, D, D, F, 90s.
The same switch again. The kind of the range switch, the tone switch.
But see, this has been touted as a baritone by some people, yet it comes tuned E to E, which is like contrabass tuning,
standard bass tuning.
and it's because a six-string bass is got a high C and a low B.
Yeah,
this is E to E, so it's like the old contrabass or the bass 6 that Fender did, which was a bass. Jack Bruce played it on Cream Records, and it was a bass, but it.
Are we rolling?
Exactly, and he played it on a lot of.
Again, you got the same sort of. You got those the split head tuners as well. Again, which is nice, and it sounds like a bass guitar, but
it's a bit.
Go on.
String spacing's a bit too narrow to play with your fingers. I think even Jack Bruce played it with a pick.
No, you can play it with your fingers, man.
But I can't. Well, it's a tough one with the bass 6. It's not got the full scale length of bass.
No,
it's not got.
It's kind of it's a guitar, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah,
but
it's a guitar.
It's got big
down
fat strings.
It's a guitar down an octave. Yeah,
it's pretty cool, man. I like it.
I mean, it is baritone scale.
Yeah,
that's what what is now baritone guitar scale.
I tell you what, if you know what this guitar is, if it's a baritone or is it a bass, comment down below.
It's going to be one of those, because some people say baritone, it's got the same scale, but it's not got the same traditional tuning. It's also, for me, it's a bass 6. It's a Fender bass 6.
Yeah.
F style.
Jazzmaster.
Which was like a Jazzmaster bass, and Jack Bruce played it as a bass, and so for me, it's a bass tuned E to E, an octave below a guitar.
This thing's 250 quid.
Yeah, the bass 6 is. I mean, if you want an original one, they're thousands.
Exactly.
And thousands. And
like 250 quid, man, for a guitar bass or a bass guitar. So if you're a bass player and you're thinking, oh, I fancy learning a bit of guitar, or I fancy playing a little bit of guitar, but you don't want to kind of jump straight into a 6-string.
And you can't. I find it hard to play with my fingers on this. I think it's kind of sacrilege to play bass with a pick.
With a pick, yeah.
But there's not really.
If you're learning how to play the slap bass, or you're learning how to play bass with your fingers, buy one of these, learn on this first. When you get to the bass, it's going to feel like the Grand Canyon. Do you know what I mean?
It'll be good for accuracy. Actually.
It's going to be great for accuracy.
It's
for 250
always,
quid as
it's
well.
always been in that weird middle ground.
I love it, man. I think it's great.
Really do. It's the first time I've ever played
wonderful,
on like a basic style. It's really cool. Yeah.
All these kind of different, let's go for nothing.
Really old, like fuzz tone bass.
Yeah.
It sounds really good,
Pop that for a bass amp.
Yeah. Even through this, it's got that nice garagey sound.
Bass chords as well. It's going to make it easier to play chords.
It's like doom bands and stuff again, or the stoner rock as well. The Sun amps that they use now. Old Laney Clip or something like that.
You set this up to go drop B, and you play a guitar. You just death metal bands.
Yeah.
It's just going to be ridiculous, man.
Get one of these.
Get one of these. 250 quid, and I'm pretty sure these guys have got loads in stock here, haven't we? We've got loads and loads of stock.
Left-handed as well.
We've not mentioned the left-handed. Revelation are the biggest brand of left-handed guitars in the world. So everything they do right-handed, within reason, I think. They do left-handed as well. I think the story was somebody wrote to Alan Entwistle and was just like, do you do a left-handed RJT-60?
Argy bargy.
Do you do a left-handed? He said no. And I think it took him 3 months actually to get a left-handed guitar to this lad. And then it just kicked off. It just completely kicked off with left-handed guitars, and the whole range now, within reason, I think, are left-handed. So you can get this left-handed. No. You can get 12-string left-handed. Left-handed 12-string. You find another one of them.
With a trem.
Josh, some of these guitars are in one word. I think we should go for nice.
Yeah, nice.
Just nice.
Nice. Wonderful.
Nice.
Super.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching us again. Please subscribe to the channel down below. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We could do that. What else we got?
Yeah. Bebo, MySpace.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
YouTube. Basically just
Anyone's
share
got
it.
an old Atari or something, let me know and I'll hook you up. I can put it on a floppy. It'll take about 100 floppies. I can get it over. HD DVD, Betamax.
We'll sort you out, man. We'll sort you out. If whatever you've got, we'll sort you out. But yeah, thanks very much. Click subscribe. Tell your friends. Come down. You've got to come down here and check it out. These things are awesome, and they literally fly out the door, don't they? They fly out the door. Until next time, my name's Ben.
My name's Josh.
See you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.